We've talked about on this show a multitude of times the power of the NIL collective and how it is going to carry weight for several programs moving forward in the future of college football. It's not always about being a perennial powerhouse. For some teams, having the right boosters funneling in the funds may end up being a reason that you are viewed as a legit contender moving forward. And that's kind of the case for Missouri right now, because according to reports, there was an anonymous gift of over $62 million handed to the university towards fixing Memorial Stadium and going towards the NIL Tiger Fund. So, what exactly is this saying about Missouri and their football program, really just athletics in general moving forward? But if you are new here, welcome on into the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Leave a comment telling me your thoughts on, is Missouri a team on the come up in the SEC? Tell your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, best of bros, SEC fans, Missouri faithful, and college football aficionados everywhere about this channel, because we're on the race and soon will be the #1 YouTube show talking about our favorite sport. Continue to follow me on social media at Mr. Cole Thompson, Twitter, X, Instagram. But that way, conversations surrounding college football never have to stop flowing. So, according to reports from Power Mizzou, Mizzou announces $62 million of an anonymous gift was donated to the university for renovations, $50 million worth toward Memorial Stadium, and $12 million going towards the Tiger Fund, which is their predominant athletic association's NIL. What this is saying is they understand, hey, we're in a new era of college football, time to put our money where our mouth is. We want to play competitive games on Saturdays. We want to be at the forefront of all conversations surrounding playoff talk. And we do believe we have the coach, we have the recruiting prowess, and we have the personnel that can sustain this amount of success past last season. Go back and look at what the overall rankings were for Missouri going into 2023. Anybody know? 6.5 wins. This was a team that many people thought was going to be a prove-it year for Eli Drinkwitz. There were questions when it came to the offensive concepts. Drink gave up the play calling for the first time. They were coming off a 6-7 finish. And there was a lot of speculation that Brady Cook was not the long-term quarterback. Spoiler alert, they went 11-2. They got wins over everybody except for LSU. And then, of course, Georgia. They beat Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. And now they look at the roster that's being retained on top of extending Drink for the long run. They realize their window of opportunity is open now. Here's where this is really important. With the window of opportunity being open today, this becomes the new MO for teams. There's been a few times in the recent past where you've watched these programs have benefited from good recruiting classes or phenomenal results on the field that usually kind of fall in the middle of the pack in terms of recruiting rankings, whether they be 13th, 15th, 21st, and then they eventually benefit from it, and you start to see them get top 10 finishes, top 7 finishes, top 5 finishes even, because of the product that's being brought on the field is saying, hey, this is sustainable, come join us. That's what Missouri is doing here, people. They are putting their money where their mouth is, and they're saying, we want to make sure that those conversations continue past 2023, past 2024. We don't want to be a team that sees, oh, Theo Wees come in and Luther Burden return and Brady Cook return, and we bring in some good names via the portal, whether it be Caden Green or Marcus Carroll, or you bring in Toriano Pride. And then we just have this one great year where maybe we go to the playoff, and then we're 8-4, and then we're 7-5. And then we're 6-6, and we're once again middle tier. We want to implement these resources that will go towards selling recruits on this program being one of the best. And they can be. They really can. Whether or not we agree that Eli Drinkwitz is a sarcastic son of a gun not made from this planet, he knows football, understands X's and O's, and this past season proved it. He went out, he made a good hire, in my opinion, and Corey Batoon as your defensive coordinator. The only question I have there is, was Batoon calling the plays for a top 15 defense at South Alabama, or was that more so Kane Womack getting the final say and Batoon just being more so a glorified assistant? We've seen that in the past. He does have SEC experience, which does temper my expectations a little bit and does take a little bit of pressure off of him. But I do think that what you have returning with Kirby Moore and the offensive personnel, that's enough to say if we have a top 50 defense next year, we're in good hands. Now, you can upgrade a lot of areas inside Memorial Stadium that brings it up to date, alongside places like DKR, where Texas just spent millions of dollars fixing their stadium, adding in more seats, adding in a new area for fans that can afford the VIP experience. With programs alongside Texas A&M, they're funneling funds into College Station like no one's business every year, and you want to be a player in that. Just like Tennessee, just like Florida. Florida right now has more national championships, more conference titles, and more first-round picks than Missouri. But you're taking Missouri 10 times out of 10 than Florida in the current situation they're in going into year 3 underneath Billy Napier. That's just the bottom line. And they want those conversations to be the new norm. Think about this for a second. Remember a few years ago when we had the college football playoff at 4 teams? Who was one of the biggest benefactors of that? Clemson. The entire persona around Clemson changed starting in 2014, really 15 when they made the playoff, but 14 when you started to see 10-win seasons unfold. And then multiple multiple ACC titles, and then multiple college football playoff appearances, and then multiple national titles. And so Clemson, that was a good team, always found their way to be 8-4, 9-3, in the running somewhere along those top level ACC programs, now joins the conversation of perennial contenders. Every year, you believe the Tigers are going to be in the postseason. Every year, you believe the Tigers are going to have an opportunity to hoist up a national title. Every year, you have the ideology that Clemson is going to outwork you. They're going to game plan you. They're going to do everything possible to pick up the victory and send you home with an L. But that wasn't the case for Clemson in the BCS era. And so now, in a new era of college football, why can't Missouri be that team? Why can't they be the ones where people actually see the proof of concept working? They see the value of where their money is where their money is being invested in. And now they want to continue to see countless championships, multiple appearances in the playoffs, and certainly a national title or two. And they can do that. They can do that. This is going to be the new norm for a lot of teams. I've talked about this on lengthy terms on multiple occasions. This is exactly the way college football is going to work. Yes, there are going to be programs like Ohio State and Georgia and even Alabama. Yeah, I get it. You no longer have the Nick Saban luxury tax. But those are programs that if you have NIL, it's going to be a benefactor for you, but it's not a deal breaker. You can still land 5 stars simply because of the script A insignia that you find on the jersey. You can still sell a program like Ohio State, given its rich abundance of culture that we've seen over the last decade plus. You can sell yourself on programs like Florida State, on Michigan, on even I would probably throw in maybe a team like Tennessee or Texas A&M, Texas for that matter. But for programs like Ole Miss, for programs like UCLA, maybe even Oregon a little bit, just given the baseline of what we've known about the Ducks in the last decade, you need the NIL collective to be your biggest blessing. They need to be your best friend. And now you're watching as Missouri is one of those teams that understood the assignment, called the right people. Hey, we need money. And some booster, I'm not going to say his name, Stan Kroenke, but we all know Stan Kroenke, wanted to go ahead and get back to the university. Write you a little check. Here's $62 million. Make sure that we're right back in the situation going into 2025. And as long as we are, I'll write more checks like this. I am more than happy donating funds to see continued growth for my football team if it ends up working out. And so that's the new game plan. You're going to watch a team like Missouri do this a lot. I think Ole Miss has already shown you they're a premier player in the new era when it comes to NIL, how they like to spend money. I think Miami is actually going to be a surprise team. SMU, now in the ACC, the Power 5, Power 4, whatever the hell we want to call it, that logo is going to carry such significant weight. And I don't know how many people understand the level of boosters that reside in the greater Dallas area. They want to see the ponies push. They want to see the ponies gallop, and they want to see them stride to victory in the ACC. That's another team I think is going to be really beneficial in the NIL collective era. But Missouri, they're doing exactly what we thought. Putting their money where their mouth is. They're not looking for regression, only progression. And for teams like this is the way it has to get done. I look at a team like the Tigers. 10 wins is already on the table next year. Now the question turns to, is 10 wins a constant goal? Is 10 wins going to be the new norm in Columbia? And as those expectation rises, so do the funds potentially. More money gets funneled in. As more proof of concept shows the results are working, more people will buy stock in what Missouri is selling. This is only the start. And with NIL, this is going to carry an egregious amount of weight moving forward. But congratulations to the Tigers. In my opinion, you stepped up to the plate, and at least you hit a double and you're in scoring position to make it to the college football playoff. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.